let's jump into the movie reviews here. Marvel comes out with their latest Shang-Chi. And let's go ahead and start with Jason this time. So give Jaron a starter whistle break here.
Well,
Jason,
okay.
what did you?
Well,
Oh,
let's
sorry. I guess let me give our synopsis.
yeah, not
Shang-Chi
a
is about a
non-spoiler
gentleman.
synopsis.
Yes, about a gentleman who I guess I can't say where he came from, but it's about a gentleman who's living in the west on the west coast, San Francisco, and gets
Where Asian
attacked by
people live.
people. And where you realize that he has a past that he has not shared with his only best friend. Him and his best friend travel overseas to confront this past and picks
Ow.
up a lot of plucky characters along the way. And by plucky, I just mean like more
More
of the
Asian
same.
people.
Yes,
Like the chicken pig.
pick up characters all the way. If you like kung fu, you like violence, and you like Marvel, this is the movie for you. Because I feel like anything I really say is going to put to a spoiler at any point. So now that we got that all out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, let us go to our spoilers here. Jason, your thoughts on Shang-Chi?
I think this movie would have been wonderful if it was a Phase One movie. I think it would have been absolutely outstanding if it came out 10 years ago. Um, I am all for having Asian representation. I'm all for having the character, a whole entire Asian cast. I think that part was excellent. I guess, I guess I'm jaded because it's just like you're gonna do a kung fu movie and you're gonna put a Marvel budget behind it, and it's like the fight scenes are still cut to hell. You know, like the choreography is some there's some cool parts, but it's still like not that great. And then of course you're gonna end us all in a giant CG monster battle where nothing makes sense on screen. And it's like it would have been great like if it was the first time I've seen it, but it's not the first time I've seen it. And then we have, villain and and good guy become color swapped versions of each other. They nerfed the rings of power into just being glorified guns, which just shoot purple at people, and that's basically it. I mean, they could do some, you know, other stuff, but that involves shooting purple, but that's about it. Um, hey, Simu Liu and Aquafina, they're awesome. Their chemistry together, I thought was pretty good. Um, Michelle Yeoh always brings that, gravitas to it.
Yes.
Like even though she's completely underutilized in this thing and just comes out of left field. Um, the kids loved it when I watched it. They were all for it, but I'm just like, I've seen this movie before. I mean, I'm glad I'm seeing it with more diverse cast, but I've seen this movie before, and it was like, and, and I guess this is also one of my biggest pet peeves is like they had a kind of a cool father son dynamic with him and the Mandarin. I can't
Yeah.
pronounce his character's name.
You can just call him Mandarin. So.
Yeah, even though it's sort of racist, I'll just call him the Mandarin. But like you took this, cool badass comic character who was like this force to be reckoned with, who's this 1,000-year-old, you know, warlord, and his like whole entire arc is like, I'm sad. Like, and that's basically, and like they could have solved his conflict with a conversation. If he was like, yo, dad, seriously, I know that you're a 1,000-year-old being, but mom died. So like whatever
They had
you're
that
hearing,
conversation. It
like
didn't work.
if those people are like, yo, your wife is not behind that wall. I know you
They said
want
that too. It didn't work.
They didn't do it. They did it for like 2. Hey, your wife's like, I don't know. Now we're gonna fight. They're like, yo, let's not fight. Let's all calm down. Let's take a deep breath. Let's sit down. Let's hash this out. They could have solved that with a conversation. I'm just saying. I think it would have been better if they solved it with a conversation. Honestly, if they didn't have to fight some sort of CGI monsters and just like and hash it out like together. I think that would have been better for me. Also, they should have said had more fucking kung fu. They should have been more people fighting each other and not CGI monsters and shit. I'm just sometimes not everything has to be the end of the world sort of scale thing. And it's just like I would much rather see a smaller scale movie with just dudes fighting other dudes and some badass choreography, and that's it. And maybe that's just my expectation being put on the movie. But it would have been great. It if it was 10 years ago. I would have loved it 10 years ago.
So I'm gonna go because I'm gonna let Jaron back clean up because I know he feels differently about this movie. So oddly enough, me and Jason kind of have similar takes, but I think some of the things he has an issue with, I don't have as much as issue with. and I justified in my own like headcanon. I see what I did there. So I do think he underutilized the rings, but I think that was more on the fact that I feel like he probably didn't unlock all the power of the rings. That he just was efficient at using
years.
But that's what I'm saying. But if I do know something that works, why am I switching up the recipe? I'm not sitting around on my free time trying to tinker with what the more can do. I'm kicking ass doing it my way. So, I feel like that's part of the reason. It's like when Iceman gives us the finger roll in the NBA. Everybody else is doing layups one way. And Iceman gives you the finger roll, and you go, oh shit, we can lay it up that way. But you're gonna say, well, that's just laying it up underhand. People could have done that for years. Well, until somebody else unlocked that.
Who's Iceman?
So
yeah, the dad's character was very studious.
So let me just start this. I think that's part of the reason why the rings were underutilized. I think they're way more powerful than we know. I think it's just how the father wielded them because of that's what he figured out how to do. Also, the second thing I think when you were like, oh, they could have had a conversation to tell him. So, in my perspective, I was the other way on this. I'm like, how is Shang-Chi and them like not rocking with him with this thought process? We have seen an alien snap people out of existence.
That's also true.
We've seen him fight Abomination. So you were not willing to think that somebody could come back from the dead or be calling your father, who's
and the fact that your father's 1,000 years old at this point is like there could have been like, oh, that makes sense. Let's go figure this out.
Right. So I was like, the fact they didn't believe him kind of bothered me more. It was like, you all have seen portals open up and flood New York City, and this is the thing you don't believe? This one thing? Okay, sorry, I'm out here. Again, I told Jaron when I saw
I'm to give you that. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong about that. That's fair. I can't argue.
I told Jaron when I saw it the second time, it kind of made me lower my ranking on it because it was things I was like, what? Why are they doing this? So the other part, so for me, and I told Jaron, I felt like this is the first movie that I felt like Marvel was like, hey, we need to get Marvelized on this, so pick it up, because the first 45 minutes of it, I actually enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed how we're playing with the time and the flashbacks. I enjoyed all the scenes with the father showing how he gave up the life and was going to be a real good father and all that. Like, I actually am more interested in seeing the father in a John Wick-esque spinoff than I was with the rest of this movie. Him going through and killing all these crime bosses that harmed him or coming after his family. But yeah. I felt like the Marvel twist was like, oh, we got to Marvelize this. And I'm going to tell you the exact moment when I watched it the second time, when I think it started, when Trevor shows up. When Trevor shows up, the movie goes completely Marvel from that point on.
Here's a plot device to get you moving, whether it makes sense.
Funny little sidekick character that looks cute and no one can understand except for Trevor, but we don't know how Trevor can understand him. Just happened just because I escaped out of the tunnel this way. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, let's just go to the other side of the garage and get out of this place that evidently has the baddest mofos of all these centuries that have been doing this. But yeah, just go out the other garage. You can get out. It's cool.
With the quickest automatic doors in the history of automatic doors.
Yeah.
Right.
You can go full speed at them and they will open, and then you can close them and they will immediately close.
Right.
I've never seen technology like that in this world.
That was the hardest part of that movie. That was the hardest thing for me to believe. There were soul-sucking alien things. I was like, that door, though.
I couldn't figure out if in that day when the thing opens up, was it just opens up and it's just a straight shot to the other land? Or did all those people had to go through that maze thing to get there? Because when they put the dragon eyes in there and the water flowed out and showed the maze.
Yes.
So was it that all those troopers had to do that maze to get there? So how did all of them get in? Awkwafina's ass barely made it. It just things that make me just go, what the fuck are we doing in this movie right now? Like, and yes, I agree. The movie should have ended with him and the father fighting and having a real beat-down, brawl-out fight. No dragons. No super bullshit like that. Just let it be done. And then the last thing I did, and I justified it in my head because I'm like, oh, okay, he's wearing dragon scale. It must be the only way that this regular human is getting punched in the fucking gut with 10 rings and is getting the fuck up like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, you made this one of the baddest weapons for 1,000 years and you can't take down one man? One man? I don't care if it's your son. One man? Like, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. And the last part is I hate Awkwafina. She's terrible. She annoys me. And I realize it's not even a personal thing that me and Jaron talked about. It just her, the way she delivered lines is just whack to me. It just,
can we talk about her black scent?
Me and Jaron talked about that very heavily because Jaron felt differently about it. And I was like, we're not going to do this. We're not going to defend.
Well, no, you sent me an article and I kind of looked into it and I was like, all right, I get it. I just never really experienced it. So.
I mean, also with that, it's like, a lot of the stuff, like he has the 10 rings and they are magical people that have magic, but like in like Doctor Strange, you kind of like sort of give you like what the magic can do. And in this one, it only seems like the magic can just swirl around and wheat leaves and stuff. Maybe like they never really like I guess it would be more of like a visual language that like they understand like when he's like doing the more liquid form of kung fu and flowing along, but sometimes you need to just say it's like, he uses power and strength and he's always punching. We need to flow and like that will change. It's like there's not really like more of a character.
They're airbenders.
Yeah, but like
straight up doing like Bagua.
They're fucking waving leaves at this guy to win.
Yeah.
It's like
Bagua circle walking. Guy couldn't land a punch. Yeah.
All right, and then I'll finish up on my last part of the review. The last part of it too is that I thought the fight scenes in here were really good. I like the way that the fight scenes, as his personality grew and changed, his fighting ability grew and changed. Like I told Jen, I felt like the beginning it was very Jackie Chan-ish. Oops, like I'm not trying to like be aggressive. I'm trying to avoid conflict.
A little clumsy.
Like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then I felt like near the end he got more aggressive and more dominant, etc. Also, one of the reasons I do like this movie is at the end of the day, this movie's it's an anime trope. This movie was an anime. From all the flashback scenes to explain the things that we didn't know to going forward, the reluctant hero that weirdly powers up. All of a sudden at the end, I know Jared, his mother taught him some secret techniques that he forgot. Yeah, he powered up for a dude that been fighting for 1,000 years with one of the most powerful weapons of the planet. Sorry, I don't care how much your mother taught you. You couldn't pick up that whole art in one day. Or girl picking up being better than Hawkeye in one day. Yeah, okay. Tell me another one. So, but that's anime. But that is anime in the trend. The hero in anime always powers up for a short amount of time. That took people centuries to learn, and he learned it in a short amount of time and uses it to effectiveness to beat the big bad. It was an anime. I don't know if that was done intentionally because of this Asian roots or if it's just how it played off. But it literally was an anime for me, which I enjoyed. But on the same token, I wish Marvel just would have backed up. I think it was a better story hidden in this movie that was over and superseded because they had to do the Marvel tropes. They had to get the checklist out and make sure this stuff was hit. Also, last thing, why the hell was Wong in the movie? There was no reason for Wong in this movie at all.
Oh, there's a reason for Wong being in the movie.
There's a reason for Wong.
Because he's Asian?
Yes, that's the reason.
Yeah,
because honestly, at the end, why is Wong talking to him? He's not the Sorcerer Supreme. It should be Doctor Strange, but there's Wong. I mean, I like Wong.
Yeah.
Even if they had Wong at the end,
Wong's an accomplished.
Wong fighting Abomination. What was the point of that? Like, it was no point, but it'd be like, oh, guys, look who that is.
What about Wong's character says he's going to do that?
Yeah. Well, I love the fact that he was friends with Abomination. Like he's like, dude,
like this dude like killed 40 people in New York City, by the way.
Yeah.
And Wong's like, work on your punch, buddy.
Yeah, his cell was in the back. If you noticed that too, like he was taking him back to his prison. Like, really? Okay, all right. I'm good. Jaren, please sweep it up and tell us how we're all wrong.
Go ahead and make me feel better about this movie.
Yeah, you guys are, first of all, fucking hell, Jesus, Joseph and Mary, you guys came hard at this. All right.
His accent slipping out. That's,
yeah. Christ almighty. First of all, the movie itself, all the characters are fantastic. Like the bad guy, the father-son thing, I think you guys didn't give it near enough credit that it deserved. There was an emotional pull in that was, despite the fact that everything around it was kind of superhuman, it was very human. The idea that this guy's been around for 1,000 years, but he knows that he's going to live forever if he keeps the rings on, and then finds a woman that he's willing to take the rings off for, which means that he'll start aging again. Apparently not rapidly, but like at a normal pace. That in and of itself is like, there's this beautiful thing that exists in these characters that made him a very three-dimensional bad guy and somebody that I understood where he's coming from. I got Magneto vibes. Like, I get it, my dude. This is, not the way to go about it, but I get it. Also, if you genuinely have suffered loss in your life and there is even a magic-y crazy idea that you could potentially recapture some of that happiness that you're lacking in your life, there are people that will go to the ends of the earth and to great lengths. And I mean, that is something that I think it's a human nature thing. I think we can all get behind. Main character, Simu, he was great. I do like looking at it. I watched it a third time. Had to help that box office, right?
No wonder it's the biggest box office on the Labor Days because of fucking Jaron over here.
Yeah, it's
I
just
know,
me.
right?
What Jason was talking about as far as his fighting style evolving as his character did, I looked for it, and Jason's got a better eye than I do about these things, because initially I was like, I don't know about that, but yeah, absolutely. His family being airbenders was very cool. I am not a huge fan of like overt wire work, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is a little too ridiculous. I like my characters to have the weight that the human would have. So walking out on a single little branch doesn't fit right to me. Plus, you see their feet move where you can tell they're just dangling. Shit like that bothers me. But this wire work was done when he meets his wife. The dad meets his wife, and I genuinely enjoyed that fight sequence. It was weird. The first movie I saw it in, I wasn't with Jason, but somebody like two rows over was like, "Yo, are they like? Is this like? Are they flirting?" And I was like, "They fucking are," and it's great. Yes, I think you guys are right about them underpowering the rings. That being said, it's Marvel, and what the first thing that they do is they call some Avengers in to take a much more deep look at the rings. And I like that they bring a scientist, somebody from the galactic side of things, and a magic user. Like they got one of each to kind of go, what the fuck? And I think there'll be an unlocking of potential that'll come in future movies where you'll see them used obviously in new and interesting ways, because that's how storytelling works, but also as far as like character progression with that. I felt it like when his sister, like when she goes at him hard and you're like, the fuck? And then the flashbacks really tell that story. I thought that was a great story. Don't leave me alone here. And he was like, I'll be back in 3 days. And then he ran like a bitch. Like, I get it. I get this. The shame that he had, that he tried to hide with just being a layabout and a fuck around. Him not understanding why his sister was so angry until he really confronted his past. Like, I dug it. Like, the character work in this is so much better than the last couple Marvel movies. Like, they dug deep. And you guys, you cannot be pleased. They didn't bring a fucking skybeam into this, or an army of the same thing that all just collapse when you kill one antenna or whatever. No, they were all still individual things, and there weren't 10,000 of them. But
there's
there
only
was
like
no
1,000 of
skybeam.
them.
Yeah, there's no skybeam, and there's no Chitauri army. And you guys are still like, yeah, but there was CG characters at the end. Yeah,
it was a CG fucking mess at the end. Like,
it was great. As a visual effects artist, I thought they did a great job of translating.
Yeah, of making everything look gray.
The idea that you got the idea that the dragon kept swirling. He was like a waterbender. He kept trying to
great idea. Water. You watered out the whole entire tone of the scene by doing that.
I don't know. I like. Also, can I just say, when they get to Talo, the visuals, pulling from all that old
that was cool.
Chinese lore, they made that place fucking beautiful. Those lions, the ones that you always see that you consider stylized lions that are like carved out of stone, but in real life were fucking awesome. I want one of those. I mean, obviously can't have one, but that'd be dope.
I mean, maybe you got to go through a maze of reeds and a portal to the mountain.
All right, so now let me be fair. There are a couple things. That stupid fucking forest could have been fixed with a helicopter. Come at it from the sky. You can see it all moving.
Yeah.
Just saying. Real fucking simple. Look for the clearing.
To go to that place in '96. They had helicopters back then.
Yeah. I know. It started with a helicopter shot saying
also,
1996.
If you're trying to protect your secret land from warlords or whoever, why are you sending out a pretty girl, man?
Right?
Send out someone who's fugly. Send out the fuggliest dude you got.
I think she was just hanging out having lunch and got discovered. But the thing that Jason brought up about how the army got in, I will say that they explained it a bit, where they said that one day out of the ear. This thing opens up wide. Now there's still turns because you saw the little light moving through the water map. The light still took lefts and rights, but it might be on this one particular day at this one particular time that it's a bigger pocket to be in. The little pig chicken thing said, I can just take you there now. We can just go like normal. And those are probably smaller pockets. That's at least my headcanon on it. Like, that's why it was a little bit, like you can go anytime you want, but it's a lot more dangerous,
I can accept that.
Yeah. I like talk about fixing the Mandarin issue they had on their hands. I thought that was great. Also, the second callback to the Iron Man 3 movie, because there was definitely an extremist soldier fighting another Black Widow in one of those fight cages. So I thought that was
the arena.
Yeah. So, all in all, paced well. Yes, they did fast forward the end a little bit. I don't know where I would have shrunk the rest of the movie, because I thought the rest of the movie had all of the heart and the story in it. But he did get really good at the one fighting style that's beaten his dad in the past pretty quickly. Because I like the movie, I want to say that it's because his mom was teaching him without teaching him, like all growing up, and that this was just kind of all Auntie had to do was kind of like now everything you already know, potential. Like put it together and put your mind behind it, and you got it. You already know it. You just don't know you know it. That's where I'm going to go with that. But yeah.
I know Jason wants to jump in.
I know.
So before Jason jumps in, I just got one thing to just kind of go with it. Is like
old bow and arrow guy got that fucking man, that hurt.
Yeah, being on screen for 20 seconds. He was so important to the story.
I will say this, Jaron. All the things that you talked about you like that you felt like we didn't get, I did get, and that's what I told you. I thought it was good. All that stuff happened before Trevor showed up. All the things you named about development happened before Trevor showed up. Once he showed up, the movie marveled. And it went, and I'm not talking about sky beams. I'm saying, like, for perfect example, they're sitting in there, the fucking soul eaters are coming. They're like, hey, we need to fight together because they don't give a shit. The guy's like, we're not going to fight with you. Well, I guess we will work together. If that is not a Marvel joke trait, oh no, who are you? And then Captain America takes down you know what? Yeah, get the perimeter. Like, it literally, and I can point to the moments that just Marvel. That director didn't write that joke.
I'm not gonna. I can't argue. I can't argue with that.
Like, and I also want to say, I think it was a better movie, and then they just flipped it and was like, "Oh, sorry guys, we know what you came here for, Marvel." And then they went Marvel, and that's when I was like, I got this. That's why I fell asleep the first time, and everybody with me the second time fell asleep around that time because I think people were like, "Oh, we know where we're going now." Like,
no need to watch.
I don't know. That was my only real brief. Again, and I think I want to stay here too. I like the movie because I think I just shitted on it most of it. I like the movie, so. I know Jason wanted to jump in. Jason, your thoughts?
Well, I just want to say, like, I agree with
you. And we'll move on.
I agree with Jaron too with the father and son thing was very heartfelt. I just wanted that to be the whole movie. Like, I wanted more of that. That's why I was kind of more disappointed because I wanted that that's the whole movie right there. But also, to me, like when I'm watching the movie, it kind of made like Shang-Chi was kind of like not very useful as a protagonist, and more so than his sister could be. Like, I don't understand. Like, why are we focused on him when she's just as good? Like, there's no reason why he has to be the one to do this. She could have done it too. And it's like,
it's representation of an Asian culture. So the guy is going to get it, and the girl's going to be left to the side. That's their culture.
I don't think you can say that out loud, Jared.
Also, you don't only want me to get on the sister. Oh, I learned how to fight better than everybody without fighting anybody.
Without actually practicing with anybody. Yeah.
I learned how to fight better without fighting anybody. Yeah. Stop it.
She did start a fight ring. Maybe she started at the bottom of that fight ring and got good.
She had to work her way up. She was like, I got my practice in, guys. Y'all just weren't there to see it. I was always fighting dudes.
Very. I will say, post the Marvelization, as Jason puts it, the trade of barbs between the father and the son when they're fighting each other is some of the most savage shit because it felt like it hit so close to home for both of them. You know how you can say the thing that'll hurt your loved ones the most because you know them the most intimately, so you know kind of where the holes in the armor are. Those 2 points You watched your mother die and you sat there like a coward. You're fucking afraid of everything. Probably hit him, that character, straight to his core.
7-year-old child, go out there and fight those guys for your mother. My 7-year-old child.
You know how people are when they're like, I wish I could have done more.
Stupid. That's fucking dumb.
But when there's a lot of emotion there, that's a big thing. And then he flipped it on his dad and he was like, listen, if she did come back, would she even fucking like you? Look at what you've become. Like, I mean
he was
that definitely cut him to his core too.
He was totally that when they met. And also, like, if you're the fucking manor who's been around for 1,000 years and you've like done all this bad stuff, are you not going to protect your house against like the fucking triad gang? Like, you've toppled governments and shit, and you can't like have one guy there who's like, oh fuck, here comes the East Asian triads. We should probably, stop these guys.
It's like a bell ringer or something.
Right. All right, Jaron, your final thoughts before we go to ratings.
I guess I'm the lone stander here. You said you guys did like it. I think I liked it more. I thought it was a job well done, and I thought it delivered on a lot of the promise of it was a lot better than Mulan.
Well,
a lot better. Same company.
All right, Jason, what would you rate Shang-Chi?
7 out of 5. No, I'm kidding.
My time in my brain.
Why are you killing my rating?
This movie is fucking awesome. After I talked to you, this movie, no, I would rate it. I would still give it a 4. As I said, if this movie came out 10 years ago, I would have loved it, like every single second of it. But it's just the Jade in me that says, all that other stuff, right? So it's still a good movie. So 4.
Yeah, I'm probably going to give it a 3.5. I battled to not get. I was going to give it a 3, but I'm going to give it a 3.5 because it is enjoyable. It is a lot of good stuff in this movie. I think maybe I feel like it could have been better, and I can't hold that against the movie because it could have been better. Like a lot of things could be better. So
this world could be better.
On our rating, is a 3.5 on the rating? Is that still go pay for the ticket in the theater territory?
3.5 for me, or I would make, if I made a joke about what a 3.5 would be, it would be streaming, but I would probably pay for the stream. I wouldn't bootleg
$5.99 rental.
Streaming. Right, I wouldn't bootleg it off someone else's stream. But yes, go see the movie. Jaron?
I'm going to average this out because I'm going to give it a 4.5. So that'll put us at an average of 4.
Nice spectrum.
Yep.
Man, Jaron,
there are definitely problems with this movie. Don't get me wrong, but it is just a damn good time, and it's done well. When the fights happen, they're great. I don't have any complaints about those fights. That bus sequence was fucking awesome.
I will say this,
and difficult.
Marvel, I will give Marvel this. Marvel's giving you the ability to like forget all your things that you hate and just like it. That is a great trait for Marvel, and respect to Marvel for that. Because you don't like wire work, and you're like, oh, but it's a lot better in this one. No, it wasn't.
Because it's minimal. It's minimal. It's minimal.
It was still weightless.
I would actually want
an airbender.
I want this to be like an HK film and a wirework film slapped together with $200 million budget behind it.
Yes.
It has some fucking, some badass Asian choreographer who's the fucking DP on this shit.
There's tons of that out there. You can go see that all you want.
No, but not with $200 million behind it. That's the thing. You don't see it with that much money behind it, right? And like you could they could have elevated this thing to a whole nother level, and they just like, no, we'll bunt so we can get on base.
Yeah, I agree.
No, you end up with Dynasty Warriors when you do that.
No, because they didn't have a budget behind that shit.
Yeah, they didn't have $200 million. No, they didn't have that. But shout out to Marvel, man. The formula works, and I expect them to keep churning it out until next time. What's the next one? Spider-Man, Doctor
Strange,
Eternals,
I think.
Eternals.
The Eternals
in November.
Well, there's hope because it looks like they're going to tell a different story in this one too. And the director they have
is an Asian woman.
A different story.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, my fingers.
How much you want to bet it's going to be a fucking CGI fucking mess at the end?
I already know it's going to be. It's going to be the same as this movie. It's going to be
some sort of space beam or giant monster.
Well, you already got Marvel's Superman with those I beams. I'm like, oh damn, okay.
We're gonna be space beam super monster together.
Be ultimately intrigued with, and then it's going to turn the ship because we got to get back to the people in the back who don't care about actually filmmaking and storytelling. But I agree, the Father is one of the best villains that Marvel has put out, and Marvel always has a villain issue.
And they killed him. And they fucking killed him.
This villain had all three dimensions.
And if I can
Yep,
kill.
yep, yep.